the free throw percentage still needs to be so much better. Most coaches would probably be okay with that, but not the free throw. I'm talking about the statistics. But certainly I'm disappointed with the 18 turnovers. It's far too many. And again, a lot of those were not forced turnovers; they were unforced turnovers. Mac, I thought had a tough night, and even though she scored 16, but wasn't her normal self. Thought we had some great play off the bench. I thought Alyssa Gary came in and gave us great minutes in the first half. Certainly Kate Peterson came in and did some really, really, really good things as well. And then, I thought Lily did a nice job there towards the end, and Lexi did a nice job of running our offense and so forth. It was great to see, Sid. I don't know if this is her first double-double, Meg?
Fifth of her career,
first here, and so Sid has proven, since we started, what a great shot in the arm she gives us off the bench with just her hustle and, her ability to score the ball and make others around her better. But I'm pleased. This is a really good Bowling Green team. We were. In watching them and our prep, even though they've only played the 2 games, they have a veteran group out there and a bunch of different pieces that their scoring is spread throughout. Some nice pieces that come off their bench as well. And so our game goal tonight was 65 points. Almost let that slip away, but we really wanted to hold them under 65. This is a team that averages right around 89, I think, 0.5 in the first two games that they've played. So happy, but always, room for improvement in certain areas. I thought the other night against Tennessee, we shot, from the free throw line, we were 83%. Tonight, it's disappointing that we dipped back down into the below 70. So we still got to keep working and get that straightened out as we move forward, because we're going to need every last one of those, as we move forward, but certainly in Big Ten play.
Hi, Coach. Audrey Hausberger for IUS TV. You talked a little bit about turnovers being disruptive in the first, but there were also some fouling issues. How do you think that kind of disturbed your players' energy and momentum on the court?
Well, it's a great question. Some of those, again, are self-inflicted, the turnovers. It's really difficult. I think you lose a lot of, momentum. Just flow when there's that many, fouls being called. I do think that at least I felt like the crew that we had tonight was aware that I think some of those, moments where, some of the BG kids fell to the ground, they didn't at least bail them out as much as Bowling Green would have liked to. But, in our preparation, this is a team that tries to, they fall a lot, and we made sure that our kids were aware that anytime they went to the rim, certainly they were, had to be in control when they came, to a 2-foot stop to throw out. They couldn't run through their pass because they were hunting, charges and whatnot. But, I thought the flow did get interrupted there. There's no question, with the fouls, especially in the first half, but certainly in the second half as well. And it's always hard, I think, for your kids to find any kind of flow when there's that much or that kind of stoppage inside the game.
Hey, Coach, what have you thought of Scalia's development since she got here and becoming a more well-rounded player?
Well, she had a great night. She had a quiet 17. I was surprised when I looked down at the stat sheet. Here's where she keeps developing. We know that she can shoot it. We know that she can facilitate it, but where we really have challenged Sarah has been on the defensive side of the ball. It has been, and so I think she's learning. I don't know if I can go love quite yet, but I think she's learning to prepping and playing scan and report defense the way we ask our kids to. But we've been really, really happy with her progress. She's a kid that loves to be in the gym, so she's in there extra. Anytime that her shot may not be falling, you just know the next one, that she shoots is going to go in. I mean, you have that kind of confidence in Sarah, and we do. But certainly I think there's been an improvement on the defensive side.
Hey, Hey, Coach, congrats.
Haley. Thank
6
you.
Hoosiers in double figures tonight. When's the last time that you've had a team where that's not super unusual?
Well, I don't know. We'd have to go back in the archives.
2016.
Okay, there you go. 2016. That's a while back. It's nice that again, I'm anybody that's been around me the last couple of years know how excited I get when that assist number looks like 25 and on 48 mades, and our assists have been up. I think we had 21 against a really good Tennessee team, and so we certainly continue to share the ball and get everybody involved, and that's really nice. Because we can, like I said at the beginning, of this, Mac was pretty quiet. I thought Mac struggled today by Mac's, how we always see Mackenzie. She very rarely misses those around the rim. On a night like that, I mean, she's 8 for 14, still has 16. Others can pick her up. I thought Yarden, 11, 6, and 5, 11 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. That's a good night. And so, the pieces are nice to have because they can certainly fill in some holes when, maybe some of those other kids, are struggling out of the gate, like Mac was tonight.
Matt Seabury, Indiana Daily student. You guys have won every first quarter so far this season, including tonight. How have you guys been able to get out to those early leads, and how do those early leads change your strategy and game plan for the next 3 quarters of the game?
Yeah, we just talk about it. We always talk about getting off to a fast start. The goal of trying to get them to call the first time out hasn't happened, but yet, we just challenge them, and we wanted to make sure, as I said to them, after coming off of a night like we had the other night at Tennessee, and it's such a big win for this program, the last thing that we can do is show up here tonight and be flat. And so there was a real hard challenge today at shoot-around, at practice yesterday, in shoot-around, and then certainly before the game, with making sure that we came out the right way. And as I always say, the average teams will just show up. The great teams show up wanting to improve and wanting to get better. And I thought they showed great maturity, from the tip. It was good to see.
Wilson, let's go.
Terry, you've called Sydney your 6th starter before. I'm just wondering, how have you seen her adjust to coming off the bench, which isn't something she's really done a whole lot of in her career?
Well, she certainly did that at Oregon, as a freshman. So I think she understands that, for us, she's getting starter minutes. I think that she is, and again, I haven't talked to Sid about this, but I'm sure that she sees real value in what she's being able to bring to to us. The other night, at Tennessee, when she came in, really generated the momentum for us. And then I thought tonight, just her hustle, her play, her ability to be around the rim for some of those offensive rebounds, but. She's a fixer defensively. She's a fixer sometimes offensively because she has a really, really high basketball IQ. Our hope is that we can not just get the Sid Parishes, but the Alyssa Garys and the Lexi Bargasers and the Lilies and the Caitlins. Like, we need all of them to improve and get better and help us. We want to be able to rest the Grace Bergers every now and again, and the Chloes and the Mackenzies, for sure. I think she's handled herself in a mature kind of way. Not that I'm surprised, because Sid's always been about the team. She just wants to win, and that's what you want. You want all of them just to be about the winning piece and not worry about whether you're starting, whether you're not starting, as long as you're out there playing and you can contribute in the right kind of way. I think, for Sid, she's happy to be a huge part of what we've been able to do so far.
Coach, congratulations
Thanks,
on the
Skip.
game. Another very well-coached game as well. Appreciated all the matchups that you were able to accomplish tonight. Obviously, holding your opponent for a 4th straight game to under 10 second chance points. That's huge. The assists are huge. The scoring's huge. But you've been talking about the turnovers, and you've been talking about the free throw shots. You have, I might be breaking your 24-hour rule here, but you've got a game coming up on Sunday against Quinnipiac. You lost the first half against them last year.
Right.
What are you going to be able to do to prepare the team to really match up where those rebounds and staying out of foul trouble and making those free
Sure.
shots are going to be important?
Well, I think you always go back and, we'll watch film and then, we'll prepare like we always do. After every game, there's a highlight or a teachable moment, low light film. And so, we will, we'll watch this game with our players in groups and as a team and, talk about, some of the slippage that we had inside of it. But then, it's more, and we haven't turned it over that much, right? It was just tonight. Tonight was, one of those nights where, and, if you look at it, some of them were like the silliness of whether it was, traveling. Sarah had a travel. Mac had a few travels. Grace had a charge. I mean, they were, like I said, unforced turnovers. And so, a lot of those turnovers are on us. They're not on Bowling Green. And so we have to address that, and our kids know better. The free throw shooting is just something that, They know, as I always tell them, they're and remind them of how good of a shooters they all are, and it's just something we'll keep working on. I mean, it's the pressure free throw scenarios and situations that you put them in every single day, but they look at the stat sheet. All of them do. They know what they're shooting, from the field, from the free throw, and so forth. So I'm not really concerned about that, Skip, just because I do think we have a very mature team that realizes the importance of, one, being able to take care of the ball, and two, being able to step up and hit free throws. And so it's a quick turnaround, but we knew that was what it was going to be. We're going to take a break tomorrow, I think, with these guys, and come back on, what day is tomorrow? Friday, Saturday, and do a long film session, and then be on the floor with our preparation for Quinnipiac. But it's not lost on us that we went up there last year, and it took us to the last quarter to pull that game out. So, but we'll have them ready.
Kind of a two-parter here. Liz Honegger obviously has one of the most decorated careers in Bowling Green history. What has she meant to the program? And Grace Berger earlier said you don't really hear a lot about what she does behind the scenes. What all does she do to help the program behind the scenes?
Well, thanks for the question. And you're absolutely right. It's our support staff doesn't get enough of the credit, and they are clearly behind the scenes, but Liz is sort of our catch-all. She takes care of all of us. She takes care of our players. She takes care of the staff. She takes care of Megan. She takes care of Kevin. She takes care of Ben in terms of our travel and practice and you name it, food, clothes, scheduling. And she was a great college player at Bowling Green, and something that she has a tremendous amount of pride in. And Liz is a great supporter of those players, and they all love the relationship that they have with Liz, because Liz is about this program, Liz is about our players, Liz is about people. And, she's sort of a rock star here at Indiana. She knows a lot of, she touches lives that are outside of our program as well. Other coaches, those other guys that are behind the scenes that, maybe not the ones that don't, get their name mentioned enough. But, Liz knows all of those people. And, she's been great to have. I've worked, she was here when I got here and was on the staff. And so she's been not just a great colleague, but she's a great friend.
Yarden missed her first few from three, but she kept trying until she hit them, and she contributed in a number of other ways as well. What does her competitive nature and her persistence as a freshman add to this team?
Hannah, she is competitive, but it's just hard to. Would be a great, and I've never played cards with her, but I think she'd be a great card player. But because she just has the same, she never gets too high, she never gets too low, she never has a reaction to anything. She's very, very much mature and has a tremendous amount of composure, regardless of what's happening in the game. And I think a lot of it is the maturity, but I think, being able to play the last couple of years, like I've mentioned, with some pros, I mean, I think she understands the ebbs and flows that happen in a game, and because of it, she's had to grow up fairly quickly, and she's been the point guard on a lot of those teams because there's always, several Americans and then other international players as well, and so she's found herself at the point guard spot a lot over in Israel, and so, I just think there's a real, and she has a really, obviously, high IQ as well, her ability to pass and make plays that not normal freshmen can make, and I think you guys are all seeing that. She was a stat stuffer tonight, even though those shots weren't going. But I love it, just like I love Sarah, and I love for Sid, not to quit shooting those shots. When their feet are down and their hands are and they've caught it, and they're in rhythm, I want them shooting those shots, and I love it that they have the confidence that they have.
All right, thanks.
Yep, thank you guys.